Hello guys, it's me, Mythos, back at it again with yet another morning report of the WAN. And I am a bit late with this one, I know, but there is a lot of podcasts. God damn it. Too many podcasts. So yeah, I haven't even watched everything. There is a lot going on when it comes to information. So expect a couple of more videos incoming. Today I might actually do 3 reports, we'll see. But anyways, let's get back straight into the news cycle. Booyakasha! Tom Stubblebine. So, Brian Shaw might be in trouble. No, he won't be. The Frighter. Easy day. So yeah, he's reacting on the video that we saw yesterday as well from the Brazilian arm wrestler. So here we go, one moment. Booyah.
It looks like he's in control. He's kind of giving up some rope for Kalininchenko to be offensive there, but then now he's trying to attack the hand with that dragging kind of bicep pronation that he's got.
So as you can see, Tom Stubblebine is going through a bit of the analysis of the whole practice pool. And like he himself mentions, we really don't know exactly who is more tired in this practice pool. But anyways, Leonidas is looking pretty good. The movements are really nice, especially for being a newbie in the arm wrestling world. And the match is becoming more interesting. It might not be a complete 3-0 sweep, and even if it is 3-0, I believe that they will have to fight through the whole match. So I don't see a sweep with this match. Even in a 3-0 match, I see it being a bit more of a battle, kind of like how Vitali and Damon Larratt on the left arm was. So with that being said, on to the next one. Booyakasha! Women's arm wrestling champion on the female arm wrestling scene. Jocelyn Brisson interview by Eastside Arm Wrestling. Well done, guys. Booyakasha! So when it comes to the female arm wrestling scene, as they discuss in this video as well, it's becoming a bit bigger, it's becoming a bit better, but still compared to the male scene and compared to where the females should be, if like you ask us arm wrestlers, the females are usually more talented and they have more interesting matches when they are close because of their technicality. They are usually way more technical than what males are. Except for that, they're going a lot into strength training when it comes to females, and how females usually are more involved, for example, in powerlifting, strongman, because of how the whole structure in that community is. And we don't really know exactly what affects arm wrestling and what the main problem with females not getting into it. I have a couple of theories. Here in Sweden, for example, and they discuss this a bit as well in this video. Here in Sweden, the arm wrestling sport is an actual sport, and in some other countries it's a sport as well. And the reason why, for example, in Japan there are so many great champions from arm wrestling, and even here in Sweden, it's because it's something that's very involved into the culture. It's integrated. For example, here in Sweden we have a very classic arm wrestling movie, a documentary called Armbryterskan från ensamheten. And that's a classic. It's about Heidi Andersson back in her prime. And it has been part of the culture for many years now. And I believe that's the problem. Just like the sport itself, in some countries, it's not part of the culture. I think the same goes for the female arm wrestling. Because it's not part of the culture, it's a bit harder to get it out there for females to actually understand that it's a sport that they can be integrated in. And I believe that most people actually in the arm wrestling scene currently, like, we don't really have bad people. I think the community is really good, so if females will get integrated in the sport, they will be very welcomed in it. So yeah, that's a big discussion that they were having in this video. I would guess that that's the main core of the video, and how we can get more females involved into the sport. And another thing that's actually very interesting, I think that when we talk about arm wrestlers, we joke about the physical aspect, how arm wrestlers are usually like weird looking. I think for a lot of females, if we're talking about audience, having attractive role models, for example, right now we have Devon as the main ambassador, and if you look at it, there are a lot of males following Devon Larratt, but there are a lot of females that know Devon Larratt also. And that's because objectively he's a tall figure, he's an attractive man, at least he was, especially back in his prime. Right now, sometimes he looks a bit more like a homeless person. But anyways, I think that plays a huge factor as well. Just like we have the male gaze, females like to watch as well. They like to pay attention. And I think that we need more role models, because most of our top guys currently, we have like Levon, he's a big dude, scary looking. We have Gorgi, he's also a big dude, scary looking. Michael Todd, he looks like a Greek god, and that can be also intimidating. Like, we need to find that sweet spot where how we present our athletes and our role models, it's important for the female audience as well. My 2 cents. And that's not for athletes. I point that out once again. I'm talking about the female audience, not the female athletes. On to the next one. Booyakasha. Vitaly lets Devon know who is in charge now. And that's Concrete Elbow. So in this video, it's if you check it right here.
Handling a guy which seems to be trying to wrestle him. Looking at the length of his beard, because I think Vitaly hasn't had that beard for a while now.
Yes. So, like you can see in the video, it's Vitaly slamming down a guy, and it's a sketch pretty much. If you remember a couple of days ago, we were talking about how Vitaly believes that people currently like more comedic stuff. That's what they're attracted to, that's what attracts people to watch. So he made this funny video of Vitaly basically smacking down a small guy, and the caption is Devon's trash talking. So they're, or at least he's trying to have a back and forth with Devon, and we'll see how Devon responds. Usually he comes up with creative stuff as well. So yeah, that's basically the core of this video, the core message. And once again, Concrete Elbow with that quality stuff. On to the next one, Booyakasha. Hollywood Matt Connolly. Unfortunately, this is one of the podcasts that I haven't gotten to see yet. I'm at the very beginning, and that's because I had this podcast to get through, and I'm like a bit more than halfway. So in this podcast, they are talking together with Bogdan about how the Nugo Chikadze match went. And they're talking about how the referees fucked up. Yes, they did. They did fuck up my boy from winning. Like, what was those elbow bob fouls? No, but seriously, that's not nice to see for any athlete. And Bogdan being like this new up-and-coming and strong presence and really intense and charismatic person, talking about having a good role model, he's a great man. A great role model, and then you fuck him up on fouls. And that's what's wrong with the current sport. We need to get our fouls in order. Come on, man. Step it up. Talking about that shit, we need to also be a bit more considerate of the beginners of the sport. So, with that being said, I will go to the next one. Booyakasha Grip Kings. This is a new one. I just found out about this. That's because the YouTube feed recommended me this golden nugget, which is why most arm wrestlers don't recover. But it was the second part of this journey, and I haven't seen the second part. I saw the first one, and from the first one, I got a video idea. So stay tuned for that. But until then, let's discuss the first one. It's all about how arm wrestlers, especially beginners, they make a lot of mistakes. At least this is Coach Ray's philosophy. And the mistake is that beginners are looking at like Devon Larratt, Todd Hutchings, Mindaugas Tarasaitis, these great champions that have a lot of knowledge and a lot of like winning streak. They are successful, but they have also built for like 20 plus years. They are people that have had a long journey and a long process to come to this point, to this training regime that they now use. And a lot of people are copying these 20-year deep regimes instead of actually practicing the fundamentals. And that's pretty much what this video is about. And then they have different topics and they go a bit more in depth about what is important. So I tell you to go watch this podcast. It's really good. And the part 2, if it's any indication from part 1, I think will be just as special. And like I said, I really want to make a video about this, a bit more dramatic, a bit more my style. So stay tuned for that. Until then, watch these 2 videos. Watch Matt Connelly's podcast. Watch Through the Fingers podcast with Bogdan. Watch more of Concrete Elbow. Watch more of Eastside Arm Wrestling, because like we said, they drop this kind of cool stuff and this is quality, my friend. On to the next one, Tom Stubblebine, always in it, always in the grind and always delivering. So watch more Tom Stubblebine. And with that being said, I will be a fool not to keep advertising East versus West 23. What an amazing card we have in front of us. Once again, the latest announcement, Aymeric versus Matt Mask, the Wild Horse versus the French Killer. And to buy that, you can go to the main site, you can get the season pass or just the pay-per-view, and you can get 5% off Mythos Arts, of course. And with that all being said, I would like to say, stay strong, keep being passionate, love arm wrestling, and see you around. Bye bye, mofos.